It's that time of year.
It's honestly my favorite time of year.
Oh, yes. Don't you love giving gifts to all kinds of people?
I should.
If you are feeling a little angst around the prospect of gift giving, this is the episode for you. Dive in as we talk about how to be creative with gifts that maybe have a bigger impact and really can speak to the different personality styles.
And hear Nathan say,
Whatever, you can learn too.
Mama says Namaste.
Mama Says Namaste.
Making a family can be easy and fun.
Oh yeah, but raising a family can be a whole different story.
From spouses to kids to the crazy daily grind, life often directs us away from connection and more into reactive chaos.
If you're tired of that cycle and are seeking something beyond the picket fence blues, this is the show for you.
I'm Ashley.
And I'm Nathan.
And we're here to take you from chaos to clarity by bringing awareness and intention into your home, not waiting for one day, and highlighting how
the uniqueness in each of us strengthens all of us.
Take a deep breath in and let's start a brand new day. With Mama Says Namaste.
All right, this is a post that I basically revitalize every year, and around this time of year is when I start to see it ranking as one of my top viewed posts because it is gifts for every personality style. And when I originally did this, I really was focusing just on that, specifically, okay, what do you get somebody that's really a high D personality style? And for those of you who are just tuning in, I'm referring to the DISC personality styles, which I use as a basis for getting started with coaching, with any of the coaching that I do. Not as a label or an excuse, but more to open the door to self-awareness, because I found that the personality assessment tools can really kind of set our minds in that framework of really introspective, I guess, or introspection and self-awareness. And so I love talking about the personality styles just as a way to kind of affirm the tendencies and the strengths and recognize how to work in our best light and not be kind of triggered in reactive behavior.
Love it.
So normally it's been all about just kind of putting gifts with personality styles. But over the years, we have really worked hard as a family to grow in our awareness of our greater impact in the world, and not just what gift we put under the tree, but what's the impact. Is it an obligatory gift for somebody that's going to collect dust on a shelf? Is it a gift that has maybe a large negative environmental impact? What kind of gifts are we giving and why?
And I remember first being confronted with this idea when we moved into a tiny little camper and had our first Christmas and realized, oh my gosh, we have stuff. Lots of it.
Lots of stuff. And what do we do?
And then grandparents. Oh, no. And so it was just, we realized that there's an impact. And it's hard to notice that impact when you have, nothing that jumps out at you, I guess.
Right. So we started looking at how to minimize, but we don't want to take away the joy of gift giving. Or let's say I don't want to take away the joy of gift giving. I grew up in a household where my mother's love language was very clearly gift giving. She loves to give gifts, and she'll do it all year long. She is always shopping with keeping people in mind for who's going to love what. So much so, she's also notorious for buying things in February for Christmas and completely forgetting, and we'll get it like 2 years later when she finally finds it again.
Right. Good and outgrown.
Right. So she loves gift giving, and for me growing up, Christmas was a beautiful time, and it was a lot of consumption. There were a lot of gifts. Sometimes it would get to be way too much, and my mom was so great at being frugal. It wasn't like she was going and spending boatloads of money, but she'd pick up things at a garage sale or a thrift store or something or some crazy big sales that are going on. And so she would get these great deals, and all of a sudden we'd realize, oh my gosh, half the living room is full of gifts.
I remember.
Yeah. So as I was kind of going through it this year, I was thinking about adding, and we've kind of done this every year, we've kind of added a little bit more of things that are beyond just, the traditional, sweater and toy under the Christmas tree, and looking for something that creates a little bit more. Maybe it's an experience. Maybe it's something that has a story, and as much as possible, that's something that's more of a positive impact in the world, meaning that it's not leaving a negative environmental impact as well. And I know that that's something that is definitely a struggle with young parents when you've got gobs of plastic toys, and then you add the batteries to the toys, and then you've got obnoxiously loud plastic toys that are filling your house and the landfills.
And individually wrapped candies.
Yes. So we wanted to share some ideas based on the different personality styles that you may want to, that may trigger some more ideas and creativity for you for things to put under the tree, and also just gifts of love and appreciation that may have a longer lasting legacy and maybe not end up in a landfill somewhere. So there are the 4 personality styles that we go through, and I'm going to do them in reverse this time because I typically start with D because it spells disc. That's a little bit easier to say than CISD. Whatever.
Let's not.
So disc is for 4 predominant personality styles. And let me go ahead and say the caveat that if I were to lay out every adjective that describes every personality style, you're probably going to have something you're going to resonate with each one, because we have the ability to wear a lot of different hats. It's not that we cannot adapt and relate to people in the way that best serves them. It is that the more we stay true to our nature, the more we're going to have those strengths to share with others. And so for a C personality style, these are the people that if you were to think of an animal, it would be like an owl. If you think of an owl, you think of very sharp eyesight, lots of detail, and you think of
very aware.
Yeah, even the stereotype of the wise old owl. These are the people that love facts and figures and statistics and details, and they see all of the tiny little things in life. And I never want to pigeonhole C personality styles to just being numbers and spreadsheets.
Absolutely not.
That being said, they're really good.
I do enjoy them.
Oftentimes can be really great at numbers and spreadsheets, but you can also be a highly creative individual. But you may be the photographer that always notices when somebody's got a rubber band on their arm or their necklace is out of place, or you may be the artist that draws with very, very tiny detail or works in miniatures or something like that. That's not a big, broad scope, not as likely to be more of an abstract artist. So for these C styles, what are some things that you can do?
One of the ones that I love for the CY personality is supporting their hobbies and interests. These can be, and you know what those areas are. So like for our C-wired child would be probably crocheting is a big interest for her, and something that she brings into she just loves getting her hands on the stuff and making things. And so just supporting those avenues through material or
books or resources or things like that. Yeah, for Clara, instead of it just being the traditional gift certificate to a craft store, maybe I'm going and I'm knowing, for example, that my daughter is really interested in conservation and sustainability, and she loves crochet. She's been gradually moving all of her art into more sustainable products, and so she's looking at this it's like recycled fibers that are on the inside of the amigurumi little animals that she creates.
What was that again?
Amigurumi. See, I got it now.
Wow.
And then she wants bamboo yarn. Well, bamboo yarn tends to be a little bit pricier, and to get her a little gift basket of the bamboo yarn could be a really great gift. Or you have somebody who's really into collecting in some way. Maybe you're getting them a collector's box of some sort, or they're big on a certain subject and you get them a book that helps them to go deeper into that. I mean, same daughter, same high C personality style. She loves textbooks. She asks for them for Christmas. And I can go out and I can get something that would just be a fun little coffee table thing, but knowing that she really pours into and reads every word of these textbooks, I'm feeding into what her interests are. Looking at anything that's a detailed project, looking at model cars, planes, paint by number, anything that's super detailed can be something that can be really fun for a C personality style.
One thing that we've done that we thought was a lot of fun that is experiential gifts, where You go and do something together. One year we did an escape room as a gift together as a family, and it was really fun. And I mean, it was surprising how the C's really thrived in that environment.
You want to have a
And
C
they
on your
loved-
team.
Oh yes, you do. And it was a lot of fun and had very little stuff impact, but the memory impact is there forever.
That's right. We had so much fun doing an escape room. So thinking of events that you can do and activities that might feed into it. Yeah, our daughter is a bit more of an introvert. Us taking her to a concert is not going to be a big fun event to her. But to do an escape room where it's just our group and we're just in this room trying to see all the details, oh yeah, it was a blast. We had a great time. We're also looking into things that are multi-purpose. So if you're going to get them something for the outdoors, maybe it's a Leatherman or something that has lots of different avenues to it. And then going back to what I was talking about with conservation and sustainability, sometimes, especially in light of the way our world is right now, those people who are looking at all of the details can sometimes get overwhelmed by it. And so I've worked hard to look at what are some resources that can show some hope, that can educate, that can give some light to ways that we can support our environment in a better way.
One of the ones we used was the Carbon Almanac by Seth Godin, which is a great conglomerate of different perspectives, really, on how to contribute to a more functioning global society. And it was a great book to read, and a great book to just share with those that are can get kind of lost in the details and like, what do I do with all this information? Mm-hmm. That's a great outlet for that.
Right, and there is a lot of details and a lot of information in that book. Another thing is Earth Hero. This is a website that I love. It's kind of like, think of it like Amazon, but everything that you're ordering, it's like a high seas dream because it has in there exactly what the what all is included, what the materials are made of, and it even goes so far as to let you know what the environmental impact is from creation all the way through to how it decomposes or is in a landfill or anything else afterward. So you really understand the full impact of what all you're getting. And with that, I mean, the things that we can get at the Earth Hero site, I mean, they have gift packages to kind of get you started with having reusable items, or a zero waste starter kit where you can have things like reusable shopping bags or a laundry set or something. I mean, think about just practicality wise. Sometimes we don't make the shift toward more sustainability because it feels overwhelming. And you look at the price of one reusable bag or one, silicone bag or something, and you're thinking, oh, this is so much. And so, giving it as a gift set may be something that would prompt somebody to start toward a more sustainable path. So the big ones I think of is laundry, kitchen, and bath. And if you could think of some kind of gift basket, whether you create it yourself and curate it yourself, or whether you go on one of these sites and find one that's already curated, that can be a great gift that hits the practicality and sustainability while also feeding into something that may be an appreciated need for someone.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And we keep referencing our daughter in here, and our daughter has an amazing site full of things that she has crocheted, and she's crocheted things on there. She does paintings where she's capturing people's memories and doing it in a memory map where she can take she took our trip from Costa Rica. We were gone for a month, and she kind of compiled them all into this awesome memory map that we can see that kind of is a tribute to kind of go back to that time. Mm-hmm. So there's some really thoughtful gifts that she offers, and she'll do custom orders. And she also has jewelry that some of the proceeds go back to the Parrot Outreach Society in Punta Gorda, Florida, where we got the feathers that we've created some art with. So as we're going through this, we've already laid out a whole lot of things just with the C personality style. Know that everything we've mentioned, all of it is listed on the blog post that goes along with this. So you can go here. You're going to have a lot of information on this page, as well as a whole other gift guide that I update every year. So you've got a lot of different resources for some easy shopping if you want to go through the things that I've already curated that we know and love.
Next is my favorite personality style, personally.
And what is it, personally?
It is the S personality style. And, S's are nice and consistent. You probably know what these guys are going to want. They're pretty pretty out there in terms of what they like.
And if you were to think of a bird, that S is going to be like a dove. Think peace, slow and steady, flows like water, looking for the path of least resistance. Not because they're lazy, but because they don't care to have a whole bunch of conflict in their life. They're looking for ease and comfort. And so when you think about that, what are things that you can get them that are comfortable? Get them, even going back to the gift baskets, cozy blankets, candles, slippers, a self-care kit. Oftentimes, S's tend to care for everyone else. They are the supporters. They don't always get it themselves. They will tend to put themselves second to other people's needs. And so having a time to really pamper them, whether it's through services or gift baskets or any way to kind of show some support for them, is a really beautiful way to gift an S personality.
Absolutely. Even things like massages or, one of the things that I really enjoyed to do is float, where you get in an isolation tank full of salt, bath salts, and you can float on top of the water because the saline level is so high. And, those sorts of things are, again, more experiential and give somebody a chance to who maybe doesn't always recharge, to kind of take a break and take care of themselves.
Right. And to that point also, it may be taking care of them by doing some things that you aren't normally doing. I know that there are many people I have that are friends of mine that they do so much for others, they don't get to that thing they really wanted to do. And so to take the time to say, I'm going to come and work with you for the day to establish your garden and help set up the garden. And we're going to get the garden all going for you, or to, figure out where to put plants in your house, or organize something and you're working with it for them or doing it for them, can be a great service that you offer. And then also another store that I love is the Greater Good Store. And it's got things from all over, and they're all handmade artisan resources. And so they all have a story to tell, and they all give back in multiple ways. And it can be a great little gift with a story where you're doing more than just buying. You're also contributing and investing back to these small business artisans across the world. All right, so the next one then is the eye-wired style. And if you want to think of an eye as a parrot, they are oftentimes loud and colorful in so many ways, in their attire, in their I don't want to say in their language. A colorful language sounds different.
No. But a karaoke machine will make these people really happy.
Yes, exactly. Yes. Oftentimes when you hear that loud laugh in the restaurant, it's going to be an I or a D personality style.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
So for this one, when we talk about doing events and experiences, there are so many fun things you could do. Maybe you have a themed day or an evening out where it's a cultural event. Maybe you go and you learn how to cook a Spanish meal and then go do flamenco dancing.
Yeah, and only speak Spanish all night.
Yes, and only speak Spanish. Like, it's a fun little challenge. What can you make into a game? What can be a fun thing? Obviously, an escape room would be fun. This is going to drive the C's crazy, but it'll be really fun with an eye.
Well, but that want to do the things that are around lots of people. That's going to be a real energizing thing, like concerts or doing events that are out in the community where hey, we're going to do a tour of farmers markets. Things like that would be a great gift where there's engagement, there's interaction, and sometimes that engagement interaction doesn't depend solely on you.
Right. So having some ways to get them out and socializing with others can be a really great way to kind of feed an eye and the things that they're going to really enjoy. Another thing on here is, I know our eye-wired child loves fashion, and so we've spent a lot of time looking for what are some ethical fashion pieces. And when I say that, Nathan, you'd asked me the other day, like, what exactly are you looking for? And so I kind of break it down to 3 parameters of what I'm looking at. When I'm buying anything, I want to kind of look at this, but especially with fashion, because we've learned a lot, especially this year, about fast fashion and how much that's just filling up our landfills with all of these, cheap and easy clothes. And I know that it kind of came to my awareness. I've shopped secondhand my whole life. I love going to thrift stores and finding a steal. And because I spent less than $10 on my items, I'm really quick to throw them away. To say, okay, I'm just going to take them back to the Goodwill or, back to a thrift store and get something different. And in doing that, even though I'm doing secondhand, I tend to, I oftentimes, because I would get such deals on things, I don't hold on to them as long. And so we kind of shifted our way of purchasing clothing and looking for things as, what is it? What's your little saying you say?
When you pay for quality, you only cuss once.
Sometimes it's really hard for me to want to pay a good amount for an article of clothing. And yet, some of the pieces that we have gotten are the most durable, sustainable ones. And, we make that investment. Like for our oldest, we make the investment in some really expensive pants, and then she wears them every day
for a year.
For a year, and they are worn through by the time she is done. I mean, they really do wear their clothes. And so we've worked to look toward more longer lasting clothes with less of an environmental impact versus just getting a bunch of cheap clothes to fill up our closets.
Exactly.
So the 3 things I look at on that is what materials are used and how are they impacting the environment. Number 2, how are the workers treated? I mean, is it a company that's caring about the people that work there and there's integrity around that? And then the third one is what's the overall impact of the clothing? So is it going to be something that's going to fill up our landfills, or is it something that's made with respect for the environmental impact every step of the way? That's again why I kind of like Earth Hero for that. And I have some links on the blog site to some ideas for eco-friendly clothing, because I have to be honest with you, it's been hard for me to do because the majority of the ones that I find, first off, are ridiculously expensive, and second off, not my style
Right.
at all. And so I really kind of struggled to find some that really are a good fit. So I've got a few links to ones that we do like that are on the site, and I'm continuously looking for more. So, hey, if you know of a really great sustainable clothing line that also is affordable and maybe has more than just one tiny little piece of fabric over a nipple, that'd be great.
If you pay for quality, you only cuss once.
Well, I want quality, and sometimes it's not always well made. And so there is, you gotta look, you gotta do your research for it. And then also even looking at the accessories. Fake bling for everything. Bling for your body, for your car, for your home, for anything. My mother loves to accessorize. So jewelry, scarves, hats, a cool piece of art, anything like that. There are some great sites that you can get it where you're supporting, small businesses and handmade things and artisans from all over the world. And again, I have links for those for some of the places that I love to get from.
Now to D's. All you have to do is get them a megaphone, a walking stick, and a pair of binoculars, and they'll be happy as cats.
Right. Your D's are like your eagle. And so they do love to take charge. And they love to have that feeling of control. And they love to lead. And achievements and accomplishments are a big deal. I know I love that. And so when I'm looking at it, I mean, even for when it comes to the arts and crafts thing, sometimes I don't want to spend the time thinking about anything else because I've been making decisions all day long. I've been leading. It's my MO. That's how I am. And so when I get to a downtime, I want a mindless activity that I can finish, and then I've got to win. I accomplished it. I finished it. And so some of the little art kits, I love the art kits because it gives me something to do where I don't have to think too hard. It's all prepared for me. I don't have to gather anything, and I can just do it and be done. Win, accomplishment, and oftentimes I'm gifting that thing that I made that was a gift for me. I'm gifting the thing I made then to somebody else. And so then it goes on, and I've got a sweet handmade gift for somebody.
Full circle. Another thing is like a watch or a pedometer or something like that helps them keep track of health or sleeping and things like that, just to kind of know where they're at and keep track of themselves.
Giving them some sort of a challenge is helpful. So maybe doing a high ropes course package, or my dad, oh my gosh, sports car driving. He did a runner, he did a Porsche.
Drive around a
Porsche
racetrack
thing. Yeah, it was a gift that a client had given him, and he got to go and drive a Porsche around a racetrack with him, and it was just he had a blast.
And then he had a professional driver drive him around.
And I was really, really fast. Right.
Another great one is memberships to gyms or climbing gyms. Anything that can kind of help provide a kind of a structure for success and growth in a lot of ways.
Right.
For pushing that individual.
Right. Whiteboards are a big thing. Man, I use whiteboards all the time. And our RV actually has a whole wall that's just a whiteboard. And we actually made whiteboards that were like window coverings for each one of the windows in the girls' room.
Merry Christmas, baby.
Well, we did it often because we were tired of going through so much paper, but we always had the ideas that we wanted to write down and lists we wanted to make and things like that. And so whiteboard was a great way to do that. Nowadays, you can get, the whiteboard kind of contact paper you can put over anywhere, or all kinds of different variations. And it can come in really handy for those big ideas that don't need to be stashed in a file cabinet somewhere.
Need to be permanent.
So basically, you're wanting to look at ideas that support the tasks they want to complete, because D's are all about the bottom line, and they love to finish and complete things. And
a nice checklist.
There you go. Exactly.
There you go.
And another thing on this is maybe you've got somebody who's an entrepreneur by nature, and they get whatever they want whenever they want to get it, and it's really hard to buy for them. Kiva is a really great organization where you can look at other entrepreneurs all across the world, and you can invest money in them to loan them money for them to start their businesses. And my dad and I have both been doing this for years and years, and they give back. They really do. They pay the money back, and we oftentimes will just leave money in the Kiva kitty so that we can continue to spend that on new entrepreneurs. As they pay it back, we put it and invest it in somebody else. And it's a really cool way to be involved and to give a Heidi who's got everything they need already a way to give back to somebody else.
And keep track of it at the same time.
Exactly. And another thing I want to share is another thing that we have done is performances and videos and songs. They can be really fun. And if you go to our website, to the blog post that I've got with this, there you'll see a video that is an anniversary gift that we gave to my mom and dad, and it was for their 50th wedding anniversary, and the girls put it together, and they compiled memories and history of their lives and put it all together into this little video where they shared things that they loved about their grandparents, but they also created a little story of their lives. And it was so great, and it was so fun for us to give to them, and of course brought lots of laughter and tears for Grandma, or for Yaya and Papa. But it also is something now that we go back and we watch, and we see how much we've grown, and we've been able to go back. So when you think about those old family videos, maybe it's a video you actually worked hard to create. I mean, Nathan's brother has written songs for the girls for their birthdays, and he's an incredible songwriter, and he's written these great songs. And then we turned around for his birthday and made it into a silly video and sent the video back to him. And we've had a lot of fun doing those. And it costs us our time and energy, but it's not a lot of dollars to make those things happen. And the memories are so awesome.
That's right.
And finally, I got to put a little plug in here for Mama Says Namaste. I also have a gift certificate option for Mama Says Namaste where you can get some of these profiles like what we've been talking about. And I can even print it out as a little PDF that you can roll up or fold up or whatever and give to them as a gift under the tree. So you can have an envelope under the tree that gives them credit for a free personality style, or maybe personality profiles for the whole family where they get to see how the whole family relates to one another. I also have I actually have 2 courses. The Discovering You course, which is really digging deeper into these personality styles and how to communicate with one another. And we have things like learning tips in there and how to help your children grow with the different styles and more. And that's the Discovering You course. And then I have the 90-day family road trip. And that one is for families that are considering RVing with their family. And on top of all of that, we've just got traditional coaching. I've got coaching in all sorts of packages, and you can get all of that with a gift certificate, or reach out to me and ask me what it is you want, and I'm willing to work with you. We'll be creative for an idea. I've had a lot of fun doing that. Some of the reasons why I even have the gift certificate is because of clients coming back and saying, how about this? Can I gift this to my mother? Can we do a group dynamics report on all of the adult siblings in our family? All of these fun ways that we can learn and grow together.
So our challenge this week is to not dread gift giving. Don't be concerned about the anxiety of whether it's going to be the correct gift or if they're going to like it. If you start thinking about who they are and ways to kind of switch your perspectives on what you're buying and how you're buying it, and experiential events to me are one of the greatest gifts that you can give because you're all doing it together. It's something that's fun. But
taking notes for gifts for Nathan this year.
So look for the opportunity to delight someone that you love with something that really connects with them, that hits their personality style to a T. and really turns that screw.
And on top of that, when you can do that and look at the long-lasting impact, not just for the receiver, but for our planet, it's a gift that leaves a better legacy than just another piece of plastic under the tree.
Or in the ocean.
Or in the ocean, exactly. So oftentimes the best gifts you can give aren't necessarily ones that are going to fit into a box. The biggest gift you're going to give them is making them feel like you see them, you love them, and you truly hear them. And that's what your goal is with gift giving. Mm-hmm. When we talk about gifts from the heart, a gift from the heart is one where I've taken the time to think about who this person is, what their desires are, and that I've really heard them to be able to understand what might be something that they would get excited about. So use this as a creative gift guide for things of all different ways, some that go under the tree, some that are completely experiential. And on experiential, I highly recommend Canva as an easy way to create a little gift certificate of any sort. Canva's super easy, and you can make something that can then go under the tree so that you have an envelope or a card that a card in an envelope. There we go. that is something they can kind of unwrap, but it still highlights whatever event it is that you're going to do.
Absolutely.
So, don't stress. Deep breaths. Think of the ways to give the gift that makes an impact on that person and on the planet in a positive way. And remember,
the uniqueness in each of us strengthens all of us.
What was that? Ifus.
Let's try it again.
The uniqueness in each of us strengthens all of us. Namaste.
1, 2, 3. Up with the rising sun, already on the run. Mama says namaste. Life is a tangled mess, and you don't have to stress. Mama says namaste. 'Cause today I will stand up and be all the change that I want to see in this world. Boys and girls, you gotta have to stand up to be free. Oh, namaste in your heart. Take a deep breath in, then let's start a brand new day. With Mama Says Namaste.